Teacher Romitila, and Teacher Leia Angela Pradilla.
Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. This is such a big venue and I'm in front of a very big group. Please allow me to go around as I deliver the presentation. Like what has been said by Sir, I am Professor Romitila. I'm from the College of Education. And my dissertation is about MTB-MLE. And I'm currently involved in research that strives to identify the best practices of MTB-MLE in the Philippines. This is a research project organized by the Assessment, Curriculum, and Technology Research Center at the College of Education. It's a partnership between the University of the Philippines and the University of Melbourne. So we are funded by USAID, and all projects are implemented or conducted with the coordination of the Department of Education. So we function as a research arm of the DepEd. So DepEd can tap us to investigate or know more about some issues or what's that, the programs that they are currently or it is currently implementing. Okay, so the title of our presentation today is Practices in Mother Tongue-Based Multilingual Education in the Philippines. And we encourage you to identify promising strategies that you can also implement in your own contexts. We have two objectives for our presentation, and we would like to explain the rationale for MTB-MLE. Please bear with us if ever you're already very familiar with the rationale for MTB-MLE. We were informed that some of you may be say, encountering the concept for the first time, or some of you have been high school teachers, and you therefore may not have attended any MTB-MLE training. So the second part of our presentation will share promising practices or strategies that we gathered from schools we've visited or we've communicated with. These are schools all over the country. Let's proceed. Mother tongue-based multilingual education, okay? Our skills, okay, in different languages, especially Philippine languages, will be tapped. How do we understand MTB-MLE? What does the acronym mean? It's mother tongue-based multilingual education. Now, MLE is simply multilingual education. If you attach MTB, okay, to MLE, you have a special or distinct kind of multilingual education. We are using here in the Philippines a type of MLE that is based on the mother tongue. And why do we have to attach pa MTB? Because there are multilingual education programs that are not based on the mother tongue. So our program, is one that is based on the mother tongue. MLE is the use of more than 2 languages for literacy and instruction. So you are correct, Sir Jerry. So the mother tongue will be used as a medium of instruction. And it will also help children to learn to read and write in the L1. L1 means first language. And that refers to the mother tongue or to the native language. So we call it technically L1. Unang wika. Okay? So L1 will be the base for teaching, or rather the springboard for teaching content subjects in the L2. So what is L2? L2 is second language. In essence, it is the language that you learn after your L1. I will be technical in some parts of the discussion. I hope you don't mind. So any language that you learn after your first language is an L2. And like Sir Jerry and Ace, who have several languages that they have picked up or acquired after their L1, they may have 5 or 4 languages learned after the L1. All these will be called L2. There's no L3, L4, L5, L6. They're just called L2. So Rizal, who is a polyglot would have several L2s. Okay? Let's move on. So the MLE is often described as a bridge. Do we love metaphors? Metaphors, no? Symbols? MLE is thought of as a bridge that gives a strong foundation using children's first language, child's worldview, child's knowledge of structures of the L1. It moves from the known, concepts that are familiar to the child, to the unknown. And because of this, we say that MTB-MLE provides strong and effective education. Okay? So, we have to know that DepEd Order number 74, series of 2009, is that document, okay? DepEd Order that institutionalizes mother tongue-based multilingual education. DO number 74, series of 2009. We consider this as a landmark language in education policy. It's a breakthrough. Why is it a breakthrough? Because in the Philippines, well, we have been using the vernaculars or the mother tongues in formal education. But we have never really formally recognized them as essential languages in formal education. In fact, some teachers then felt guilty for using the mother tongues inside the classroom, especially during the time when we were implementing the bilingual education policy. I grew up under the bilingual education policy in the country. Okay, continue. Now, MTB-MLE is part of the K-12 program, or RA 10533, which has been signed into law, of course. And one of the salient features, we have to know this, one of the salient features of the K-12 program or curriculum is MTB-MLE. Okay, these are the other salient features, and MTB-MLE is one of them. Okay. Now, piloting of MTB-MLE, so let's remember, this was institutionalized in 2009, and piloting was done as early as 2010 in selected schools, in very few schools, but in 2011 to 2012, piloting piloting started in 920 plus schools all over the country. Usually, these are the pilot schools in different parts of the Philippines. But in school year 2012-2013, the nationwide implementation of MTB-MLE has started. And you are correct, sir, the program has to be implemented from kindergarten to grade 3. So let us correct the wrong notion that MTB-MLE is not included in kindergarten. No, okay? Kindergarten is included. Okay? Now, why do we have to implement MTB-MLE? Okay? Idea lang ba ito ni Pinoy? And since we're preparing for ASEAN integration, you might also ask, is this also part of ASEAN 2015? Okay? But really, when the Philippines decided to implement MTB-MLE, it was in a way supporting UNESCO findings, stipulations, not only stipulations by UNESCO, but other associations or organizations, international associations or organizations, stipulations that say that the best language to use for teaching children is their mother tongue. Even if there are several member countries, okay, of UNESCO, not all of them really follow the stipulation or support UNESCO in this particular claim. And so in 2009, when the Philippines decided to go MTB-MLE, it is finally showing its support and belief for that UNESCO stipulation. The Philippines is not alone in implementing MTB-MLE around the world. And for example, in Europe, there are what we call European schools. However, these European schools, or Scola Europea, are known to be exclusive schools, schools for ambassadors and officials of the European Union. Okay, it's a multilingual school, but there are also developing countries that, like the Philippines, that implement MTB-MLE. Okay, Papua New Guinea, okay, and other South African countries also implement MTB-MLE. Now, for the next series of slides, we will be presenting some questions, okay, that show misconceptions, okay, false assumptions about MTB-MLE. And in some cases, we offer utterances or comments that we got from parents or from teachers. And these are the actual utterances that we got from them via interviews or surveys. And you may want to take down the misconceptions that are very much present in your own station. What we want to do in the following slides is we want to help you explain the program to the people who have these misconceptions. And the explanation, mind you, the explanation is based on research. And you may just want to simplify, okay, some of the technical operations, especially if you would give that explanation to a parent. So we understand? Okay, now the first. Why should we use the mother tongues in school? Okay, our local languages, which are sometimes regarded as inferior to other languages in the country, inferior to Filipino, inferior to English, are these local languages capable of being used as languages of instruction? And so some parents would say, pangbahay lang daw yung mga mother tongues. At naninibago sila, at naninibago daw ang mga bata kapag ginagamit na yung mother tongue sa eskwelahan. Kasi ginagamit lang daw nila yun sa bahay. So what can we say to these people who ask us these questions? Well, historically, the vernaculars have been used in education here in our country. The value of the vernaculars has been reiterated by commissions, okay, that investigated the quality of education in the country, like the Monroe Commission. Do we remember the Monroe Commission? We always have the discussion on this in our history of Philippine education. In 1957, local languages were used as media of instruction for grades 1 and 2. And of course, a study called the Regional Lingua Franca Pilot Project also used vernaculars or mother tongues in 16 regions, in 32 schools, in 16 regions. And they found out that the mother tongues are effective in education. Let's also look at the bilingual education policy, versions 1970 and 1973. And we would see that the early forms or versions of bilingual education, the bilingual education policy, also, that should be, the highlight should be for the vernacular. Use the vernaculars, especially in non-Tagalog areas. The early version of BEP was actually more like personalized. So you can see that, well, in Tagalog areas, the medium of instruction was Filipino because it was indeed their language there. Note that the spelling of Filipino still uses a P here because during that time, the documents also used P, so I chose to use P. In non-Tagalog areas, note that the vernacular was used as the medium of instruction, and there was a transition to Filipino at grade 5. And at grades 5 and 6, Filipino and English are subjects in school. So this was the earlier version of BEP. In 1973, there were some slight changes, but definitely the vernaculars were used as the medium of instruction in the early grades. Next. And you can see that as the bilingual education policy gets older and older, the design also changes. And somehow the roles of the vernacular fade or they become minimal. For the revised BEP, the 1987 version, that is, English and Filipino became MOI, medium of instruction. That's what we mean by MOI, in all levels. And the vernacular languages became auxiliary languages. What do we mean by auxiliary languages? Auxiliary group, auxiliary verbs, okay? Tagatulong, okay? Tagatulong, supplementary, some would say. Hence, it wasn't a crime. It wasn't prohibited. I mean, the use of the vernaculars during the BEP. Okay? But some teachers felt that or understood, interpreted BEP as a program that should be exclusively using English and Filipino. You know, when we visit some schools in multilingual contexts in the Philippines, and then we ask them, so ilang taon na po kayo nag-MTB-MLE? Okay? Kino-confirm namin yung data. Okay? So sabihin nila, ma'am, matagal na naman po kaming nagmamother tongue dito. Hindi pa po nag-MTB, nagmamother tongue na po kami dito. Kasi yun po yung naiintindihan ng mga bata. Kaya masisisi nyo ba kami kung mother tongue talaga kahit hindi pa MTB-MLE? So this tells us that the use of mother tongues as MOI is a prevalent practice. Okay? Especially in some parts of the Philippines where Tagalog or Filipino may not be a first language of the children. And in places where English may in fact be a foreign language to the children. Do we know what foreign language means? A foreign language, or a language rather, is considered foreign if there's not enough exposure, okay, to that language in a specific context. Give me an example of a foreign language in the Philippines. Yes, okay, at least at this time, yes ma'am, Spanish is a foreign language here in our country, and so is German, and French, and Swahili, Arabic, because we don't get much exposure to these, and Mandarin, Chinese, to these languages in our country. But English is a second language because we have broadsheets in English, movies in English, magazines in English, and that's why it's a second language, English. Aside from the fact that it's one of the official languages in our country. Okay? So, you know now what to say to those who have the misconception, the first misconception that local languages cannot be used. Historically speaking, the mother tongues have been in use, and they have been regarded as effective media of instruction. Now, second question, why should learners learn the mother tongue in school when they can already speak it? Ito po ay karaniwang tanong ng mga magulang. Bakit pa daw po kailangan pag-aralan yung mother tongue? Alam na nung mga bata yung mother tongue. In fact, nasasalita na nga nung mga bata yung mother tongue. Meron pa raw po bang mapag-aaralan sa mother tongue? Is there something yet to learn about the mother tongue when one can already speak it? Now, the explanation is this. You see, language learning is a lifelong process. You can't say that I'm done learning English because I can already speak it. And even if you're very fluent in English, there's still something to learn, okay, about English. Language learning is an activity that transpires from womb to tomb. From womb to tomb, mula sa sinapupunan hanggang kamatayan. It doesn't stop. You don't stop learning a language. And that's also true for your mother tongues. Even if you can already speak them. Ganito po, meron po tayong dalawang sets ng skills, okay, kapag nag-aaral tayo ng isang wika. And usually, for the mother tongue, naturally, we already have, or we've already acquired the first set of skills we call basic interpersonal communication skills. The acronym is BICS, Basic Interpersonal Communication Skills. This refers to our skill to have a conversation with someone in our mother tongue. So we we converse with our neighbors in our mother tongue, with the family members in the mother tongue. This is called the everyday variety of the language that you speak. Okay? And this is developed in the first to third year of language acquisition. Okay? Ito yung kaya at madali nating ma-develop. Now, there's also another set of skills for a language, and we call them Cognitive Academic Language Proficiency. The acronym is CALP. Now, this is academic language. It's the standard variety. If we say standard variety, it is the variety used by the educated. And it is the variety that is used in schools. Now, unlike BICS, which only takes 1 to 3 years to develop, academic language skills take 4 to 7 years to develop under well-resourced conditions. Ang gusto po nating mangyari ay ma-develop din yung CALP, okay, ng ating mga mother tongues. Kaya kailangan siyang gamitin bilang medium of instruction at kaya rin meron tayong subject na mother tongue. Yung ibang parents, sinasabi nila sa amin, Ma'am, sana gamitin na lang na medium of instruction, wag na lang gawing subject. Kasi akala talaga namin yung MTB, medium of instruction lang, tapos yun pala, dagdag pa na subject. Kailangan po siyang mapag-aralan, katulad ng pinapag-aralan natin ng English at Filipino, para ma-develop natin ang ating CALP. Okay? Can you imagine yourself debating in your mother tongue, using your mother tongue? Can you write an academic paper using your mother tongue? Can you write a thesis using your mother tongue? Okay? These are academic activities that you would be able to do using your mother tongue if you have reached the CALP level. Let's take Dr. Jose Rizal as an example. Rizal is really an amazing language learner. You know why? Because 11 yata ang languages ni Rizal. Correct me if I'm wrong. He can speak 11 languages. Tayo, when we learn, say, French, Russian, okay, Mandarin, at times, our learning or our classes only hit the BICS level. What do you mean by that? We are taught how to order food at a restaurant, how to introduce ourselves, how to reserve a room at a hotel, how to haggle at the market, right? These are big skills. But Rizal, did you know, wrote an academic paper in like one of the languages that he knew, not a Philippine language. He discussed the flora and fauna in the Pitan using that language. Amazing. He could also write poetry in one of his many languages. And definitely, he has reached CALP level and not just BICS level. Okay? Kaya ba natin gawin ito using our mother tongues? Yun ang gusto nating ma-achieve ng mga bata. Kaya po isang subject ang mother tongue. Pero won't the use of the mother tongue hinder learning? Kasi sabi, nakakabobo daw eh. And that's what they really tell us, nakakabobo. Para lang daw sa slow learners. At hindi naman daw challenging, masyado daw madali. Kaya nga para lang siya sa slow learners. Okay? Pero kung ganun, bakit hindi natin alam yung ibang mga words in the mother tongue? Bakit hindi natin kayang makipagdebate in our mother tongue kung totoong napakadali lang niya? Okay? There are several research that prove that mother tongue-based multilingual education is really effective. In fact, if you will research on your own, conduct a review of related lit on MTB-MLE, the issue is not really the effectiveness of MTB-MLE. In short, hindi na po pinagdedebatihan kung effective siya or hindi. Tanggap na po that all over the world, it is indeed an effective education program. What is being investigated is how it can be implemented, okay, the right way. And that is also our goal here in the Philippines. Okay? How can we implement it in such a way that it will indeed complement the Philippine setting? Okay? Also, to show you that indeed the mother tongue-based multilingual education is effective around the world, studies conducted by the World Bank have shown that end of primary children who began schooling in L1 scored higher in French tests than children who underwent a French-only program. In short, multilingual pupils are performing better. Next. Okay. This is just a short explanation on why, indeed, multilingual education, okay, can benefit children or learners. I talked about CULP and also BICS. There's what we call a threshold theory in language learning. We really have to begin with our L1. We really have to strengthen our L1 because a theory explains it this way. Think of those two systems that you have for language learning. So the first square represents your first language, your mother tongue. And so you have to develop your BICS first, okay, for your L1. We begin with the oral skills. So you develop your BICS, you try to have a good foundation for your BICS. And if, okay, you start with that, and you have good instruction, good resources, eventually, you will develop L1 CULP. You could use your mother tongue in academic situations. And this will carry on to the development of, lagi pong nagsisimula sa BICS. Lagi po tayo nagsisimula sa development ng oral skills. So, what you have worked on, established for your L1, will push you, okay, to L2 BICS. And then again, with the right resources, good education, okay, your BICS will develop into L2 CULP. This is the process. And that is why the MTB-MLE program also mirrors this kind of transition. You only achieve the STAR or the cognitive gains once you have reached L2 CULP. So the promise, okay, that good MTB-MLE education will give to us, okay, good language learners excelling in academics and excelling in the languages they know. That could only be achieved if we fill up these two systems. You could think of them metaphorically as containers. Kailangan pong mapuno. So yung drum ng L1, pupunuin mo. Tapos tsaka pa lang magsisimulang mapuno yung drum ng L2. At kailangan siyang mapuno. That's what the studies say. You have to reach the brim, okay? You have to fill the L2. And only then will students achieve cognitive gains. Next question. Well, somehow I have touched on this. Why have a mother tongue subject? Sana tanggalin na lang ang mother tongue subject. Sana gamitin na lang na medium of instruction pero wag nang gawing subject. Kumain pa kasi ng oras yung mother tongue subject. So I've already explained that we need the subject to develop the BICS and CULP of the students. Besides, the mother tongue subject is a good springboard for developing cultural identity. Okay? Not only language identity but cultural identity. Some parents also complain, especially parents of kindergarten pupils. Sabi nila, tinuruan namin mag-English ang mga bata sa bahay para ihanda sila sa school. Tapos, magma-mother tongue pala. And in some cases, the teachers tell us that the kindergarten children could already count in English, know some words in English, but unfortunately, they don't know some of their mother tongue numbers or letters, but they know the English alphabet. Okay. So the parents ask, why use the mother tongue as medium of instruction? If there are parents who say, Ma'am, gawin na lang medium of instruction, wag na lang subject. There are also parents who say, Ma'am, gawin na lang, ay baliktad, ano ba? Gawin na lang subject, huwag na lang gamiting medium of instruction. But why use the mother tongue as medium of instruction? Okay? It's because the first language or the mother tongue is the language that the child is most familiar with. In the literature, in fact, L1 or mother tongue also labeled as dominant language. Okay? Yun ang wika na alam niya. And the principle of MTB-MLE says that you have to start with what the children already know, and we assume this to be the first language. Why do we have MTB-MLE in short? The literature gives us so many reasons, so we have come up with 3. First, better learning outcomes. Better learning outcomes. Better connection between schools and communities. Okay? Paano nangyayaring better connection between schools and communities? Because the use of the mother tongue somehow encourages the parents to talk to the teachers. They could understand the homework of their children, and they could then help their children with their homework. And some parents are actually relearning the mother tongues. And some have been reported to go to school and observe the classes, okay, of their children. Pero hindi naman sila pumapasok, sumisilip daw po because they also want to learn the mother tongue. Also, MTB-MLE gives a strong foundation for subsequent learning of additional languages. Because of your L1 foundation, learning other languages becomes easier for you. So, hindi lang siya sa academics nakakatulong, pero sa pag-aaral pa ng iba pang wika. Mas maraming language skills ang multilingual or bilingual kesa sa monolingual. Na alam, parang madali naman pong maintindihan kung bakit, ano? Dahil ang bilingual o multilingual, mas maraming sistema ng wika na naka-embed sa utak nila. Pero ang monolingual, isa lang ang sistemang alam niya at wala siyang ibang maiko-compare with it. Okay? Won't the use of the mother tongue hamper or weaken pupils' English skills? And this is really a big concern of the parents. Well, we know because English is also a dominant language in the country, baka daw hindi na matuto, baka mag-suffer ang English, at dapat daw mas maraming English kaysa sa mother tongue. But what does research tell us? Okay. It's really timing and manner of exposure that matter in language learning. Di kailangang mauna agad ang English kasi yung sinasabi nga, mag-foundation muna tayo sa L1. So it's the timing and manner of exposure that is important. And these concerns are addressed by MTB-MLE. We have a transition program, okay? Even the methods of teaching the languages involved, okay? Also follow some strategies, approach that have been proven to work for children that are studying via MTB-MLE. This is another important point. There is no evidence that a second language must be a medium of instruction for it to be learned well. There was a time in our history when we thought that making English a medium of instruction would actually help in developing English skills. But why would you make English a medium of instruction when the students haven't even developed good English skills, comprehension for English? You're making life hard for these pupils. And to show you an example of a case here in the Philippines where MTB-MLE was implemented in a simple school and it changed the life of that school, we will be showing a video of the Lubuagan Central School or the Lubuagan project. It's a simple school in the Cordillera, in Kalinga. And it's one of the first schools in the country that implemented mother tongue-based multilingual education in coordination with DepEd and the Summer Institute of Linguistics. So this video is produced by UNESCO and you can download it on the internet.
One of the characteristics of the rural Philippines is the spectacular mountainous countryside. It is deep within these hills that many cultural communities have built their villages and towns. The Lubuagan in Kalinga province are one of these groups, located in the northern Philippines, nestled in the heart of Cordillera Mountains. In 1998, educators from the Lubuagan community and the local government formed a partnership with SIL and the Department of Education to help improve education in this remote area.
It becomes very, very important for us, first of all, to know the linguistic complexity of the country, to be able to preserve what we would consider cultural treasures. And we have to be able to deal with the education of these different communities, some of which are very big, but many of which are very, very small, and a few of the languages are now in danger of extinction because of urbanization.
Another characteristic of this area, forced upon it by the obstacles created by the mountainous terrain, is a large number and variety of bridges. Crossing a barrier that without the bridge would be extremely difficult and in some cases impossible. For the Lubuagan, the ability to learn in their own language has also provided a bridge, a way across what for years has been an uncrossable barrier.
The First Language Component Bridging Program is an innovative idea in education which has developed through the experiences that SIL and different educators from here in the Philippines have had in working among the cultural communities. The basic idea is to use the child's first language and through that have a basic education experience for the child which will provide a firm foundation for ongoing education in Filipino and English, the major languages of education.
The first language component is conducted as a language and educational bridging pilot project in grades 1 to 3 of Lubuagan Public Schools. The program uses the child's first language to teach children the subject matter for their grade level. Then, children are taught to handle the same subject matter using the major languages of education. Third grade reading assessments conducted in 2006 show these students outperforming all other schools in the province by up to 30 percentage points for both Filipino and English.
Ingkan jihaji nang isuisuan nyo ji first language component approach. Ingkan jihaji yoy ja allowon teachers kahit napapyak lang jaon lumaing dyan sumuyo lalaing dyan makaawat di sana.
I had the privilege of going to a grade 1 class where the medium of instruction was Kalinga, a language I knew nothing about. And of course in that class I couldn't understand what was going on. The kids were speaking in a different language, the teachers were speaking in that language. But what was more important was that the kids knew what was going on and they were clearly engaged in the learning process. I have been, since then, a strong advocate of using the mother tongue.
The language diversity of this nation is a rich component of the cultural tapestry that is uniquely the Philippines. And by using the first language component bridging program, minority groups can access the national language and so participate in the larger Filipino society.
Yes, it's basically a dedication to a cause greater than ourselves, to the national welfare of this country.
So the case of Lubuagan is also mentioned in the DepEd order, DO number 74 series of 2009. So it's also important that you have a background of this school so that you can say that there's a simple school in the country where the program has been implemented and it was proven as a success. Their example also shows that you don't need to be a rich school, you don't need to have like ultra nice classrooms and so on. But what is really present in Lubuagan would be the involvement of the community. And later on, when we talk about strategies, as school heads or supervisors or even as classroom teachers, advisors, we hope that you can tap community involvement, because even community members can also help us achieve this, what we have on the board. Okay? Maybe we can skip that, Leah. Now, at this point, we want you to get your journals and answer the following questions. Okay? First, which among the presented misconceptions or issues do you often encounter in your school or division? How can you share the information you gain with fellow teachers or supervisors, with pupils' parents, or community members? And remember that they don't have the same background as you do. So how can you simplify the technical info for them? How can you share the info without intimidating them? Okay? Do you think knowing the presented information will change critics' perception or reception to the program? Makakapagpabago po ba ito ng mindset? Please jot down the questions and your short answers, and we hope that we can get inputs from you so we can all help one another.
Good morning, ma'am. I am Mr. Jaiton Jama from Sulu Division under ARMM po. During the time, first implementation of our K-12, especially in the grade 1, we were one of the, during our presentation of the mother tongue, actually, there was really a great resistance on the mother tongue, especially the parents. Not only the parents who are not, but educated parents. Yes. Why is it that they say that we still have to implement mother tongue when our children are already used? So, for us, we told them that we use mother tongue because this is very, familiar to children, because this is being used at home, and this is bringing home to school. We're in the school nice. Now will also pinapalawak ng school yung salita natin so that there will be no language barrier if we go to language 2. But somehow this time, during the meeting, the PTA meeting, we still encourage and we inform parents that we use mother tongue in order that we want to maximize the participation of the children in the class. Mm-hmm. Kasi kung nagma-mother tongue tayo, madaling maintindihan ng ating mag-aaral. Okay. Yun po ang inaano namin. Pero ngayon, medyo natatanggap-tanggap na rin nila. At saka sinasabi rin namin na before, yung wala pa talagang mother tongue, sabi natin bilingual, nagma-mother tongue din yung mga teacher eh. Mm-hmm. So, sabi ko sa mga teacher, at saka yung teachers pala, no? There was also resistance from the teachers. Yeah, okay. Sabi ko, teachers, binigyan na nga tayo ng otoridad na maggamit kayo ng ating language. O, legalize na yung mother tongue. Tapos ngayon, nagre-resistance pa kayo. Ano ba kayo? We are now using our mother tongue in instruction this time. Sabi niya, minsan mahirap daw. Mahirap din daw yung ano. Kaya nga sabi ko, palawakin natin ang ating mother tongue. Bahasa. So, thank you po, ma'am.
Okay. Sir, what's your name?
Mr. Jaiton Jama. Jay po, for short.
Jay, okay. Jay. Maraming salamat, Sir Jay. So, ang nakuha po natin kay Sir Jay, thank you po, sir, ay yung resistance ng parents, and there are several questions that targeted criticisms from parents. So we hope you can respond to these questions or feedback from the parents. And later on, sir, we will be sharing some strategies that we hope can help your teachers in implementing MTB-MLE in terms of materials production and so on. Yes, ma'am. How about you?
Hello, good morning, ma'am. I am Mary Ann Umadhay from Region 12 po. Okay. So, yung number one po natin reflection is that according to the community, using mother tongue as medium of instruction and as a subject will never be a good bridge in learning academic language. Yun talaga yung unang perception ng community. And even the teachers, yung sabi ni Sir, they really make it negative, no? Because even the teachers, hindi din po sila matatas sa kanilang mother tongue. So yung difficulties is not only in the level of the learners, pati po sa mga guro natin. Okay. So kaya nagkakaroon po ng ganun na misconceptions that it will never be successful, no? Okay. So and reflection number 2, maybe what we can do as teachers to share all the insights and learning we have from all the seminars that we are attending, so that we can explain to them, to the parents, to the community, to the teachers that it is very important, no? Na nagbibigay po siya ng kahalagahan sa pagtuturo natin because it could really bridge, no, in learning academic language, the mother tongue. Okay, and we have to explain to them that we gonna have a good foundation in our mother tongue in order to learn other languages. Okay, and do you think, now yung number 3 po, so do you think knowing present information? Okay, yes na yes po. Because this could be a good help in sharing success stories to our community and teachers.
If I may share with you, when my dissertation was conducted at the Lubuagan Central School, I interviewed parents, community members, the teachers, of course, some members of SIL, etc. One common question I asked them was, when did you think did the program become successful? When did you think? I want them to identify a stage in the program where they thought it really took off. It's a long process of implementation. And I wanted to know, when exactly did you feel that you were making progress, that you've been achieving success? And you know, it was really amazing because they gave me the same answer. Okay? They said that it became successful, or the people started supporting the project when we were able to make them believe, we were able to convince them that MTB-MLE actually works. And I asked them, so when is that? Masyado pa rin concrete, di ba? Paano mo nalaman na nag-iba na yung mindset ng people? And then they said, during the fiesta, there was one fiesta when we had contests on the mother tongue. Children declaimed and sang in the mother tongue. That's when parents changed their mind about the mother tongue. Because they themselves, sabi nila, couldn't recite a poem in the mother tongue and couldn't sing some mother tongue songs. And they admired their children, okay, for doing that. And they commended the parents for teaching their children to do that. One thing about the Lubuagan that's really admirable is their great love for their language. Napakataas po ng pag-value nila sa kanilang cultural identity and language. In literature, pag titingnan nyo po yung language attitude ng mga tao, lalo na dito sa, halimbawa sa Manila, sa Philippines, pag tumataas ang pag-value or language attitude nila for English and Filipino, medyo nagsasuffer yung language attitude at pag-value sa mother tongue. Yun po yung trend ng mga ibang pag-aaral. Parang yun yung at the expense of the mother tongue, tumataas yung attitude for Filipino and English. But when I conducted a language attitude survey with parents and teachers and community members, you know what's amazing? Kahit mataas po at nire-recognize nila yung value ng English and Filipino, hindi po bumaba ang value nila sa mother tongue. Magkakasing po sila. If you will look at the table like that, pantay, hindi nagsasuffer yung pag-value nila sa mother tongue. And I think that's what we have to work on with our communities and schools. What I realized from my study is that the mindset is very important. And the people are saying, until they were able to change the mindset of the parents, in this case, or in their case, through the mother tongue contests during fiestas, hindi nila makukuha yung suporta ng mga tao. At tsaka palang naging motivated yung mga teachers na gawin yun. Tsaka sila nagsipag, sumaya sila. Not saying that that wasn't the case. But prior to that, the teachers were saying, Ma'am, mahirap po talaga. Mahirap na mahirap. Parang napakalaking, napakalaking pagsasakripisyo yung ginagawa nila. At yung description po nila, parang yun daw yung turning point, yung mga fiestas. And the fact that all of them gave the same answer shows that it was really very effective. May konkreto po silang ginawa. What I'm saying is that explaining may not suffice. Explanations may not suffice. Otherwise, why are there still several smokers despite the information campaign that we have about the dangers of smoking? Sabi sa psychology, kung ganun lang kadali magpaiba ng isip ng tao by giving them explanations or reasons, ibang-iba daw ang mundo natin. But sadly, you can change the mind of a person by just giving a simple explanation. They have to be convinced by something else. And in the case of Lubuagan, it was something concrete, like contests in the mother tongue. So I encourage you to discover and work with your co-teachers in discovering this potential turning point, okay, in your communities. Like ano kaya yun? Gagayahin nyo ba sila? Well, it depends. It depends on you.